Hi, let's answer the questions which I mentioned in my previous video, that is in Infosys interview questions. So I have recently attended Infosys interview for software engineer post with 3.8 years experience with tech stack including Java, Spring Boot and microservices. So the interview started in this way. So the round one was for 45 minutes. So the first question is introduce yourself. It seems to be a simple question, but the answer seems to be a little tricky. So the sample answer would be like, hi, firstly, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. My full name is XYZ and I come from XYZ state, but I stay in Hyderabad to pursue my professional career. I started my career as an associate software engineer in a company named ABC, developing web-based applications including Java, Spring Boot, and microservices. Later on, I moved to ABC company where my main role is to monitoring the existing application using the Splunk technology by developing dashboards and alerts. I'm currently in a process of climbing the staircase to reach my milestone as a full stack developer. So that's the reason I voluntarily accepted my second project, which is mostly a support role to understand the pros and cons of the application, which helped me to become a full stack developer. Yeah, I hope you got the gist of my professional journey. If you want me to deep dive into my projects, I can happily do that. Question number two. Explain about your projects, technologies, and tools used in it. So you can answer this like you can explain all your projects, like in detailed explanation of your project. What are the technologies you use there? Why did you use that technology? What the tools you use there? What is the use case you followed? And pros and cons of your application. How did you overcome all the difficult situations in it? And what is your main role in it? But make sure to answer each and every point if the interviewer asks you any question related to the project. But the main interview tip I could say is that be always confident. If you don't know it, accept it, and say that I did not get a chance to work on it, but maybe in the future I'm happy to work on it. But don't say that I don't know that, I did not work on that, something like that in a negative way. But you can simply say that in a positive way, like I did not get a chance to work on that particular technology, but if you given a chance, I'll definitely prove it. I have a gist to learn, I have a zeal to learn all the new technologies, and I'm a quick learner, so I can definitely learn and cope up with the existing technologies. Now the core subject question starts. So question number three. Explain the difference between the compile time and the runtime polymorphism. So as we know that there are four important concepts in the Java, like inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So here, as I pointed out regarding the polymorphism, so explain what is a polymorphism, and coming to the differences between the compile time and the runtime, you can explain, like in the compile time you can explain about the method overloading, something like to give a gist about that same method name, different number of parameters, but the return type may or may not be same. And in the runtime polymorphism, you can explain about the method overriding concept, which belongs to the inheritance concept, something like superclass, subclass, having the same method name, but if you want to access the objects of the child class, how will be implementing it, how do you implement at the rate of override method in the subclass. So you can answer this question in this way. Question number four. So the immediate question they asked me is like, which version of Java did you use? So immediately I said it's Java 8. Then my next question was, what were the new features of Java 8? Trust me, guys. Like in many interviews, this is the most and important question. Like, what are the features of Java 8? So please make sure to read once, go through all the features of Java 8 before attending any interview regarding the Java. So you can answer something like the main features of for Java 8 are lambda expressions, functional interface, and date and time API, stream API, something like this. Question number five. What is Stream API in Java and what are its uses? So Stream API is one of the feature which was implemented in Java 8, and it is mainly used for the collections like map, hash map, arrays, linked list, etc. So we can say something like, instead of in Java for a basic program, instead of writing 4 to 5 lines, maybe we can use this Stream API with the map, with the filters like with the methods like map, filter, etc. And then we can decrease the number of lines of code so that it looks easy to understand. So tell something about the Stream API, or like whatever you know the basics about it. See, instead of sitting numb, you can tell whatever you know about that topic, so that something is better than nothing, right? So whatever you know about that topic, you can openly say like, I only know this much, but maybe I can go through it once. Yeah. Question number 6. What are the OOPS concept and explain each and every concept with a relevant example. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, what are the OOPS concepts I mentioned, like inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, abstraction. So you can explain each and every topic like types of inheritance, types of polymorphism, why do we need the inheritance, what is the superclass, child class, what is the compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, how do we implement the abstraction using the abstract methods or interfaces, and what is encapsulation, something like that. And you can, if you're confident enough, maybe you can add a syntax to each and everything, so that the interviewer will feel like, okay, he or she has enough knowledge on it. Question number 7. What is the use of the lambda expression and explain its syntax with any program in Java? So lambda expressions is one of the new feature which was implemented in Java 8, and lambda expressions are mainly implemented to so that we can write the code in a concise manner, that is in a smart way. For example, let's take an example, adding of two numbers. So for that we'll be giving a class name, a method name, in that we'll be passing a two parameters, and inside the curly braces you'll be writing sum equal to a plus b, and you'll be printing that sum. This seems like 5 to 6 lines of code, right? But if the main advantage of lambda expression is we can write in just a one line, something like open parenthesis a comma b, closed parenthesis, giving an arrow mark, and then you can write a plus b. It simply says that taking a and b as an input, after the arrow mark the output is a plus b, that is sum of two numbers. So this is one of the main advantages of lambda expression which was implemented in Java 8, so that we can write just 4 to 5 lines of code in just one line. Question number 8. Write a Java program to sort an array with and without using the stream API. So for this, the interviewer asked me to write share the screen, open a compiler, and write a Java program and explain each and every step, like why did I write in that way. So I initialized an array taking on some 1, 2, 3 values in it, and then I have written a for loop, and then it and took the length of the array so that it iterates throughout the length of the array, and then I have sorted using like if a of I is greater than a of j, then swap those two values. So after that, the interviewer asked me to write using the stream API, where I used this filter concept, and I have written that in a more concise manner. So the interviewer asked me to explain each and every step in it, like what are the ways, like other ways to implement an array, why did I, and she also asked me to write other programs using strings and all, some basic questions involved in the collections also. Question number 9. What is the difference between the abstract class and interfaces in Java? So we can say like abstract class has method body, but the interface has only abstract methods. And abstract class is extended using the extends keyword, but the interface can be implemented using the implements keyword. And abstract class is mostly for private and protected access modifiers, but interface will be defaultly public. And we can also say that abstract class can provide the implementation of an interface, but interface cannot provide the implementation of the abstract class. And we can also say like abstract class can extend one abstract class, but the interface can implement multiple interfaces. Question number 10. Now the Spring Boot technology interview question started. So the question number 10 is, how do we implement security in the Spring Boot? So we can answer something like why the security is important, how did we implement that, maybe using the security starter in security starter dependency in pom.xml, and I explained like we have used the JWT token based authentication, how did we implement the authentication, how did we authorize each and every user to it, and how did we deny the access to the unauthorized user, something like that. Question number 11. What are the few important annotations which you have used in your Spring Boot application? You can answer something like the main annotation at the rate of Spring Boot application, which includes configuration, at the rate of configuration, at the rate of auto configuration, at the rate of component scan, and what else, controller, rest controller, at the rate of service, at the rate of repository, at the rate of JPA repository, what is request mapping, and get, put, post, delete mappings. And maybe for the database connections, you can say like at the rate of entity, at the rate of ID. So what are all annotations which you have used, you can explain there. Question number 12. What is profiling in the Spring Boot? So profiling is one of the important concept in the Spring Boot, where for example if you're working with multiple environments like dev, UAT and prod, so we have a profiling concept in which you can directly go to that file and you can change the environment as dev, that is development. So if you write there as development, so Spring Boot will automatically configure all the dependencies of the dev environment, and it will configure all the properties of it, and only the after running the application it will work only in the dev environment. For example, if you want to run it in the UAT, you can directly go to the profiling file and you can change their profile as UAT, so that it will work in UAT, and the same goes for prod also. Question number 13. How do you create a Spring Boot application? So you can answer like, I have created a Spring Boot application using the Spring Initializer tool, where at the beginning itself I'll be adding what are all the dependencies are required, something like starter text, starter web, something like that, and maybe have a feasibility of adding a dependencies whatever required in the future also. So you can, by default, obviously the port number will be on 8080, and you can add what are the dependencies you need, whether you want a Maven file or the Gradle file. You can choose what are all the like basic format just to build up Spring Boot application, so that after the layout has been built, and then you can add what are all the dependencies you want, on which port number you want to change it, on which environment you can execute it, something like that. Question number 14. What is the main difference between the Maven and Gradle in the Spring Boot? So you can answer something like Maven uses the XML, but Gradle does not use the XML. And in Maven, the scripts are not short or clean. In Gradle, the scripts are very short and easy to understand. And in Maven, the scripts will be written in the Java language, but in the Gradle, it is written in either Java, Gradle, or Kotlin language. And Maven is much slower also when compared to the Gradle. And if you are building a monolithic and it's of less micro, or else it is of less microservice application, like less number of services involved in it, then you can go for pom.xml. But in the Gradle, it supports the large number of microservices applications, but the pom also will support for the large number, but uh, I feel like Gradle has a more flexibility than the Maven. So I have covered all the questions of round 1 in Infosys. So I have been selected for round 2 also. I will cover those questions as well in my next video. Please stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. And guys, if you want me to explain any of the above questions in detail, please feel free to comment in the comment section, so that I'll help you guys. And ఎవరికైనా తెలుగులో ఏదైనా కాన్సెప్ట్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాలి అనుకుంటే కమెంట్ చేయండి, సో దట్ నేను ఈ వీడియో అంతా మళ్ళీ తెలుగులో చేయడానికి ట్రై చేస్తాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ.